Okay, welcome once again. You are tuning in with the MR.NOLDS organization. You're tuning into our weekly discussion. If this is your first time, this is the MR.NOLDS organization once again. I am Hernold Michelle, the founder of this organization. And every Thursday around 4 o'clock, we come together and we have these discussions. And today, well, before I go into that, our goal is to creatively teach young men and women how to live a well-balanced life. So this is one way we do that. So today I wanted to go into this topic, or this discussion, rather quickly. As we can see, for the last couple of months, there's been different incidents when it comes to police brutality. So the most recent, this week, we had the cop by the name of Kim Porter. She fatally shot Dante Wright. It was a traffic stop, if I'm not mistaken, where she mistakenly pulled out her handgun, and shot him, but she thought it was her taser.
I like to say it's very unfortunate what happened to Dante. That's his name, right? Dante Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah, very unfortunate to what happened to him. Things didn't really have to go out that way. But I could say within the government and just within the police.
Yeah.
Personally, in my opinion about that, just me hearing the news saying, oh, like she mistaken her gun. She mistaken her
gun
for a taser.
No, she mistaken her gun for a taser.
Yeah, you get me. But it's just, come on, like, I don't want to even go into depth to say, come on, you should know better. We are human. We all have sense. I don't have to pinpoint, like, she knows. So,
how does that make you feel? Like, how does that situation and all the other situations, like George Floyd, how does that make you feel as a young black man in America? Are you worried, scared? Like, what is it? How you feel?
As a young black man, I'm just very aware of if I come into an encounter with a cop, I'm just more aware on how to coordinate myself. But just hearing things like that, and then at a repetition state with no change, it's just crazy. Like, it's
scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
Alarming. Sad. Okay.
Sad.
What about you? How does that make you feel?
It's just sad, like that. It gotta go like that.
Ladies, we haven't really heard, when it comes to police brutality, it's normally like a black man. So how does that make you feel as a young lady, like, about when you hear that?
Honestly, it's not very surprising to me at this point. It's just very, like, disappointing to see how the justice system really rules against a certain race in a certain time nowadays. And you would think, 2020, it will progress, but it just keeps going down. Especially the George Floyd trial. That highly upsetted me, because they try to pick out every flipping excuse in the book just to make it seem like it wasn't his. It was like, it was
not the cop's fault, but it was because of health issues and all type of None of this is nothing new. Now with technology, we're able to have things on camera, and now because of the cops wearing the body cams, we're able to see in live. Because just imagine how much murders that happen like this without the body cams.
But some of them turn it off.
But if they do turn it off in those moments, they'll go to jail, because they can't turn it off during a stop. They have to turn it on. So if they turn it off and it sound like that happened, they basically.
But one of them lied one time. It was malfunctioning, so.
Oh, okay. So you see, even with the cameras on their body, like, some will lie, and other things will happen. But imagine when we didn't have the body cams. Imagine when we didn't have the camera phones. Yeah. Imagine how much of us young black men or even women have died, and they gave a BS excuse, and it was like, and there was no evidence to prove it. Now, by the grace of God, we have body cams, and now things are coming to the light. But just imagine, when I hear those stories, like, I'm not scared when I get pulled over, because when it comes to authority, I never try to like question authority, even when they're wrong. Because sometimes a cop will pull you over, you're like, yo, what did I do? And a lot of times understanding, sometimes they're trying to make because they have a certain amount of tickets they have to write for the month, and they're meeting quotas, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I understand.
Yeah.
So most of the time when I'm pulled over, like, I never give them problems, but everyone's not like myself, especially those who like, yo, I didn't do nothing wrong. Why are you pulling me over?
You get very defensive.
Yeah. Sometimes I do worry about, like, yo, imagine I just don't want it to hit home. Like, yeah, can I be a case? Yeah, but I give myself the benefit of the doubt because I know how to handle myself. But I know not everyone that I know handle themselves like myself. So a lot of times it's more thinking like, dang. Especially I have an older brother who suffers from mental health. So a lot of times he could spaz out. So, and he's dealt with the police a lot of times. My older brother has been arrested countless times. And a lot of times it's petty because of his mental issues. So sometimes I'm like, wow, like, I hope I never get that call like, oh, your brother was on the street and he pulled out a stick on a cop, or, you know, something like that. So that's what it do to me. What do you think? Because we hear a lot of solutions. We hear the whole defund the police, which I think is nonsense. If you understand what that means,
That's complete.
it don't make no sense. Everybody, when they sign defund the police, you defund the police, now you don't have to worry about the white man. You got to worry about the black man too, because they're going to start robbing your house. So, to me, that's a thing. I'm not for that. But what solutions besides, okay, defund the police, come up with stricter laws? I heard things that comes with the police union. What ideas, or do anyone have something they think that if it was implemented, that a change will come?
I was reading a book. Well, not.
Speak a little loud first, please.
I was watching something where it was a documentary,
Yeah.
and not to go too deep in this, but basically it's, let's just say, you know, there's big groups within America,
Yeah.
within, like, especially the white supremacist group, and a lot of these groups used to be a part of the Klan,
Mhm.
and you know, over time, since, you know, it's gonna be a thing if, you know, these people wear the hoodies, so
Mhm.
they're like, nah, we can't do that no more, so
They joined the police force.
they join the police force.
Mhm.
So, and it's a lot within the masses of those members that are in the police force, and it's certain agendas they fulfill, or they at least try to, you know, at least try to fulfill.
Yeah, push.
So, I'll say primarily as a justice system.
So how can we go counter against that? So you see the issue. So for those of you, he's talking about in the past, you know, during segregation, everybody knew about the KKK. They were alive in effect. But now, because of the things they used to do is illegal, so now he's saying a lot of them have joined the different police forces within their state. So, and then they're still carrying out certain missions and agendas now through the police force and other ways they do it.
I feel like this is why I say where they fail us, because it's like I feel like they know these people where they come from, like from what group and what, you know, what clan they came from. They know where they come from, and they still, you know, bypassing the work for the police force.
Okay, so we gotta keep it moving. So your thing is to get okay. Your solution is even a deeper background check.
Yeah.
Because from not understanding, I know people. I had this Arab friend. He was the closest one that I went through the process with him from when he started the school through. That was around like 2018, like when he was going through that process, and he would keep me up to date of everything he had to do. So they do go through extensive background checks, and not just one. They even call their teachers. Like they will call his teachers from high school. They'll call his co-workers. I was one of those people that they called. just to get information about him. So they call people outside of them. Of course, the legal background checks. Also, they have different psych tests. Because I remember when he told me he was in that process. So they strap them up. I don't know what that thing is called, and they do that test with them. They ask them different questions like, are you racist? So they go through because a lot of people are saying stuff, but they do not know that. Like a lot of people like to talk. Me, I say I'm blessed enough. Like I always like to ask questions. That's how I know what they go a little bit, because I don't even know the full thing. But what he told me, like they do go through that, because I have family members who are cops and friends who are cops. So they go through not only extensive background checks, they interrogate or ask questions to their close loved ones or people they work with, and psychological tests. But still, we're at this point.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a felony to be a cop. There's a lot of things you can't be a cop.
Yeah.
So these people on record, they're clean.
I feel as if what we can do to combat that is like, say, you see the problem. The problem that we have is them shooting us. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel as if we need to be more strict on them having like the okay to shoot. Like say if somebody's at a traffic stop, if they were to shoot somebody for a non-criminal offense or a non-detrimental offense, like regardless if they shot them or not, they have to do community service time or something, because they're obligated to protect and not harm.
Okay, but you see what you just said?
They do have that. It's just like...
But it's like, that's like that for a non-criminal offense. Like, if it's not detrimental to, like, the public's welfare or the safety, and they shoot
for no
reason...
I'm going to let him speak, but then I'm going to go into, like, their actual protocol when it comes to that.
Yeah, there's protocols that's behind that. So I feel like I kind of, like, sat down and think about it, like, what can they really do? Like, I can't think of anything, to be real. I cannot really think of anything.
Besides,
The only good thing I heard, but I really sat down just now, I kind of thought about it. Like, if they're really racist, this wouldn't work. But I remember I was watching the Dispute, and Shannon Sharp was like, okay, whatever amount that they have to pay to the person or to the family, like, they will have to take out of their pension. But if they're really racist, I don't think they really care about their pensions at the end of the day. So I can't think of anything.
I want to say something.
So it's reward. What basically you're saying, all the good ones have, well, not all the good ones, a few of the good ones connect to reward and punishment. Because human beings learn two ways: reward, punishment. So if I do something wrong and you punish me, it will make me not want to do it. So, but before I get to that, I want to tackle a little bit and I'll let you go in. Now, you said if it's a non-criminal offense, one, if you break it, like if you're speeding, that's a criminal offense. Like if you're speeding, so if they're stopping you, majority of the time it's a criminal offense. But now if it's a minor criminal offense, like a misdemeanor, now they don't just pull out their gun. They have the right, when they pull out their gun, because you can't say, okay, because if it's a traffic stop and someone pull out a gun, let's say, because do you know, and that's one thing, I remember I watched a video a while back. A lot of times we don't see it. A lot of cops get killed. A lot of cops, especially during traffic stops. Because remember, during the traffic stop, you're inside your car, and a lot of people carry guns inside their car. And they're coming by the window. Because my brother-in-law even showed me, even at night, what they have to do to blind your sight so you can't see. So, because a lot of times cops get killed during traffic stop. I mean, a normal traffic stop. So imagine if it's something at a traffic stop, you don't know the intention of the person. It's a minor thing, but let's say the person pull out a gun, by the time you get in to shoot you. So it may not it can't be dependent on why they're stopping you, if they could pull out their gun or not, or if they shoot you. Because like I said, if let's just say it's as simple as something as for where it's illegal, which is most places, jaywalking, and a cop come up to you and like, yo, give you a ticket for jaywalking or whatever, you can't be like, oh no, they can't pull out their gun. Let's just say all of a sudden you're jaywalking and the person who's jaywalking pull out a knife on a cop and you're like, yo, you can't pull out your gun in that situation. Because they are told to pull out their gun when their life is threatened. So it could be no matter what little thing they're interrogating the person for, as long as their life is threatened and if I was a cop, I would want to be able to pull my gun without getting in trouble. Because no matter what you're stopping the person for, you don't know the person's intentions. So yeah. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, like first off, what you said, like they're pulling out their guns to, what is it called? They're pulling out their guns to protect themselves, right? You don't have to shoot to kill to protect yourself. That's the main thing. But first off,
If they feel threatened,
but
they have to
cops,
shoot.
they're trained
They
to
train
shoot to kill.
the mass.
The center mass.
Yeah.
that's what.
So that's why a lot of our
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's like, let me see, the system, like, literally it's the system that teaches everything, right? They're trained to shoot to kill, but look, first off, it's the system with kids. Like, I feel like it bases off of kids. Racism is taught to kids.
Okay.
Like, literally. If you put something in the school system, which is already messed up, like, if you put something in the school system so you understand what racism truly is and you know what your parents are teaching you, you know it's wrong.
Okay, so you see, you're trying to tackle racism from like a mass, not even just cops, because you're saying
It's a mass.
Yeah, started in the school system and then eventually, less people will be racist and less cops will kill. Okay, that's a way to tackle it too. But yeah, so I think you had said something I wanted to.
What as far as the pension?
Punishment.
Yeah, the reward and punishment. That one I think is a very good one. When it comes to that situation, because one thing I saw, or someone said, it was like, okay, imagine if it's a regular person that said, oh, like I had a taser on me or had a taser or something on me, and they put out a gun and they shot it. That person will go to jail. So why is it because it's a cop, because she said, oh, I made a mistake, she shouldn't go to jail? Because a lot of people saying there's a lot of people in jail off mistakes.
I feel like as a cop you're trained and you go to extensive care to make sure you're obligated. They give you the privilege to protect.
Yes.
So it's like for you to say it's a mistake as a cop, there should be
no mistake.
Exception. No exception.
No exception.
At all.
I'm definitely
So
with
it's
you,
like-
and we're gonna talk about, because another is the training.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about the training. But yeah, so to finish off the point, when it comes to like a mistake, if when we as civilians make mistakes, we go to jail. Why? Because of they say, and what I heard when it comes to this, it was like, okay, the reason why they protect cops, right? They want when a cop is out in the field, they're like, okay, I am protected. I am backed up by my department, by the government. Because a lot of the times, they're like, a police officer is not an easy job. FBI, all those things are not easy job. So they want them to feel secure. Okay, we're putting you out in the field and we have your back. So for example, it's like, even let's say you're working for a company, not even police. When you're working for a company, you want, let's just say, God forbid, when you're working for the company, you make a mistake, they got your back. They'll cover you. So for example, and that's why most companies have insurance and all this stuff. Because for someone that's working for your company, when you make a mistake, you want to be comfortable that, why, if I make a mistake, all the blame and all the punishment won't fall on me. So for example, I remember working at a valet company. When the valet people crashed the car, the company would pay for the person's car that you crashed. Of course, like the company deals with you by either firing you or giving you a citation and things like that. But most people you want to work, and especially cops, you cannot have them out there and be like, okay, because then it's going to empower the people more than the cops. Meaning, if as us as civilians, let's say no one in this room may not think like this, but there are people out there that think like this. If you, as a person, you already have bad intentions, you want to rob, you want to kill, right? Mm-hmm. If you know your power is at equal with a police officer, when it comes to, like, let's say if you do something, the government will be more willing to even take your side than the cop. It puts the cop in a dangerous situation. Because remember, their life is at hand too. Mm-hmm. So, and those people who are committing those offenses, sometimes, it don't matter to them. So you don't want to take away a cop's, in this case I'll say power, but I think regulating it in a way where it's like you don't just get away with anything. I think that's more the avenue I'll go towards. But completely removing the power that the cops have, and of course I don't know all the benefits when it comes to protecting them that they have. I don't think all of it should be stripped, because then now it'll put them in a situation. Now we'll probably start hearing more cops are dying. Now we're gonna move to the last part, is training. In order to give them better training, you can't defund them, because how now they're gonna pay for the training? It should be more than a year when it comes to your training, because being a cop is not just because I remember he told me a lot of the class it was separate. It was separated, meaning a lot of the time they told you to being a cop. A lot of being a cop is paperwork. Most of the time when you see a cop on the side of the, like, they're chilling or whatever, we think they're chilling eating donuts, they're doing paperwork. So the class, I don't know how much hours of it is dedicated to preparing the paperwork correctly. They have to, so when they give a ticket, it's not just they write a ticket that day. They have to submit it a certain way. They have to call in, because I knew a young lady. She worked, I forgot what was her title. She's the one the cops will call and turn in the tickets and do all that stuff. So being a cop, a lot of it is paperwork. So let's just say in that 6 months or a year training, let's say even a quarter of it is paperwork. So really, when it comes to dealing with people, there's no training like that. So I think one of the solutions is like better the training, have it more than just a 6 months or a year program.
Make it more harder.
Yeah, make it more harder, not just background checks, but actually train these people. Make, like, not a year, not 6 months. Yo, see 2 to 3 years. Let me put you in this training for 2 to 3 years. See what you give me.
That makes sense. But making it harder, because
not everybody will want to do it.
even if you make it longer, if you do it longer, maybe somebody they see how much
effort they gotta put in.
effort.
Yeah.
They might think twice about it.
Yeah.
And then that's just gonna lead to more of the same thing, because the cops that are already in there, they just gonna keep doing what they doing instead of having. So if they keep going with the whole 2 years, 3 years for training.
No, right now they're doing 6 to 1.
No, I'm saying, like, if they was to do your idea, do 2 to 3 years for training, less people are gonna start joining because they see how much effort they gotta put in.
Yeah.
And then the cops that are already in there right now are gonna just be like, all right, that gives me the same power. They're not gonna really do much about anything. They're not changing anything.
That's why that no
Oh,
exception thing.
So it'll help with getting the new people. Moving forward, it'll help filtrate the people. But the one that's already there, we will implement new laws like the punishment. Like if you do shoot somebody, like in her case,
Or
you automatically get terminated first and foremost.
People that's there, they can retrain. Like,
oh, that's another thing. Cause that's a good one.
yeah.
Oh, this is the whole
If you look at, for example, nurses, doctors, even a real estate agent.
You gotta go through
Every nurse, I don't know exactly the dates for each one, but I think real estate agents, I think the first one is after a year, and moving forward every 2 years. You have to go back and take another course, continuation learning.
I could say that.
So, for a cop, I know, because my brother-in-law is a cop, and he's told me they do trainings. So it's not like you get a cop, you don't do training. But I think now the new things that they'll be integrating in the police training that they didn't get, those cops who are already in will have to go through that as well. Yeah. Because they have to be, but like I said, it'll be a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I think if we do really want to put a stop to what's going on, the system just has to be, it got to be a revamp to the whole system.
I feel as if for that punishment aspect, for that continued education or whatever, that training, say if one officer in the department messes up, the whole department got to do it. So it's gonna.
Well, that would not be able to work, because the whole department have to do it. who's gonna be out doing
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
like, of course, it's gonna be scared at
it has to be an
times, but it's
individual
like-
thing.
No. Regiments.
What?
Like you know how like let me see in armies they have certain regiments. You can have regiments with separate cops. You feel me? Like
What do you mean
5
regiment?
cops to a regiment.
Like
No, but he
section.
said what he said was
Oh,
if
like
in the
one
area.
cop in your department
Like in
do
the
it,
area, right?
I know.
everybody have to pay for
No,
it.
but like in a department have different sections. Like let me see, like cops A, like 4 to 5 cops. Cops B, cops C. If one person messes up, all of y'all gotta do it.
Well, like I said, when it comes to that, because they need cops out there,
Okay.
it'll really have to be an individual thing. Now, if they can find a way to do it that way, that'll probably be good too. But if you want to punish people as a group,
Or
well, before you say as a group, I think you have to target the money.
that's how I was just gonna say.
So as a group, let's just say, I don't know how their bonuses work, but I know cops get bonuses. Because like I said, I have families who are in the police, and I always hear, yo, I just got an extra 5,000. So if it's in the individual will have to go through training and let's say be trial, regular, and all that good stuff. But as a department, when you have somebody in your department, the department, whether it's the bonus for the department or whatever, the extra money that they should be together, they pay for that together. Because then that'll help keep everyone like, yo, guys, let's not mess up because they don't want to lose their extra little bonus or money. But when it comes to the training and stuff, you need cops out there, so you wouldn't have to. You can't make everyone pay through training and things like that. So the individual will pay through the different training and will be tried legally, but collectively the department will pay when it comes to the pockets. I think now corporately that'll get everybody like, yo, tighten up, and plus individually you're being tried individually, and plus you have to go through the trainings. It'll make you as an individual like, yo, I gotta get it together. But corporately for that department, I think you have to hit their pockets.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because if you start hitting that sergeant pocket, he gonna get on everybody. Because if they say, yo, there's no bonus this year, like they ain't gonna quit because they need that job. Especially if you're a sergeant making over $100,000. So you don't have to worry about, because a lot of people worry about like, okay, how about cops start quitting, we start getting low on cops. Yo, people need that money. People need the money. I think it's not, I don't think they will quit, but I said I haven't done the research on this stuff, but there should be a way the person pay for it individually for their crime or their mistake, and also whatever department they're a part of pay as well. Yeah. So that is a discussion for today. If one thing I'll say, with social media, we're seeing it a lot. I'll say let it not put fear in your heart, because a lot of people now are being more aggressive. I've dealt with it. Recently, there was a young lady, when she got pulled over on a highway. I haven't talked to this girl in like 6 months. She called me. She's like, I'm being pulled over right now. Can you tell me? It was so weird to me because I haven't talked to this person, and I never had a close relationship with this person. But they happened to call me. It was a young lady, just to make sure, like, yo, they don't get hurt. So I'll say, like, we have to be careful. We're hearing it everywhere. It could instill fear in our hearts, but fear is never a good thing, because when somebody is fearful, if you ever see anything that's fearful, 2 things happen. They'll either retract and like they'll go into a cocoon, or they'll attack. So for example, if young black men start getting scared, when a cop, it can get to a point when a cop come, they're like, man, I don't know what this cop gonna do. They just start shooting, or they start doing something without thinking. So let's not move in fear. Let's move with wisdom. And for those, let's keep this in prayer, because it's happening more often. Not that it was not already happening, but like we said, through technology, we're seeing it more often. So guys, let's not be fearful. Let's stay in prayer, and not only in prayer, let's educate ourselves.